Yeah. Okay. Welcome everyone to the Women's Sprints Coaches and Coxswains meeting. I apologize if I get distracted in a couple seconds because people joining on. I have to admit I haven't figured a way around that yet, but working on it. We're still new on this new Google Meets platform, but we'll get through it. Once again, welcome. This is the Coaches and Coxswains meeting for Women's Sprints held on Lake Quinsigamond on Sunday, the 30th. I had a welcome page for the IRA Commissioner Gary, but I don't believe he's joining us tonight. I don't know if Linda or Lissa, you wanted to. Well, excuse me. Let me officially introduce both Linda and Lissa. So we will be rowing out of Regatta Point in Worcester, and the chief referee for this regatta is Lissa Bain, and the regatta director is Linda Murray, who are both here with us this evening. And I don't know if you'd like to say something now, or.
Dad, thank you, and thanks everyone for coming. I'll wait till the end until there's any questions and take it from there. And thanks for running it, and thanks Lissa for being here tonight too.
Thanks everyone for being here. Welcome, and I'm glad that we're gonna be able to have a chance to go through things and make sure we're all on the same page for Sunday. And I'll hand it back to you, Thad, and I'll wait for my slide.
Awesome. Thank you. So first things first, we're just going to take a quick attendance. If you could please type in the chat just the school you represent. Quick and easy. We'll give it a minute or two to let the responses roll in, and then we'll just keep moving. Same thing. If you have a question during the meeting, please just wait until the end, and we will address all questions as needed. All right. Well, that is rolling. So we'll start right off with practice. The practice day is Saturday. That's the 29th. And gates open. Excuse me. Practice course opens at 10:30 in the morning, and it'll close at 1:30 for high school races. You are welcome to come and practice between the hours of 10:30 and 1:30, but just be aware we do have high school races that are occurring between 1:30 and 6 o'clock. There is a remaining hour, I believe, 6:30 to 7:30, where the course will reopen for. Just make sure you are off the water for 7:30. So for those of you who have been here before, the practice traffic pattern is the same as it always is for our championship regattas. Everybody, I believe, is coming out of Regatta Point. I don't believe we have anybody at the DRC for this weekend. But so as you launch from Regatta Point, you will head north up the lake along the Worcester shore, as indicated by the blue arrows. There's no pressure to the start. We ask, just be courteous of that. You can go up the course in lane 0 or 1 or outside the course. Just so everybody's aware, we have 7 fully buoyed lanes. They're numbered from 0 to 6. So that first fully buoyed lane as you're going up the course is lane 0. Just keep that in mind. So as you go up the course, just also a thing to be aware of is there are a couple of pinch points and shallow spots. If you look at the map, if you are traveling outside of a lane, and this is more important for the races on Sunday, but if you are traveling up outside of a lane, there is a pinch point just after the 1,500 meter mark. You can see it right at the 1,000 meter mark where the course gets real close to land. It's single file. Just be aware of that. And then once you get past that, it opens right up again. And that openness can be deceiving because as you get past the 500 meter mark, you can see there's a yellow area marked that is shallow. It's the pump house. It's a little red brick building, and it's got a very shallow sandbar that jets out into the lake. And just be aware of it. Don't hug the shore. Give it plenty of space. We don't want you to lose a skeg before your racing starts. So you will continue up through the 290 bridge, which is that very top bridge at the north end of the lake. And then you will swing around and you will enter a lane. So you can go back down the course south in lanes 3 and 4, or 5 and 6. Just be aware 3 and 4 are generally for pieces less than 1,000 meters, and 5 and 6 are for pieces greater than 1,000 meters. And you're welcome to do your starts, your pieces, whatever you need to do. The one thing that I ask everybody to pay attention to and take out of this is lane 2 is a dead lane. Do not enter it. Do not cross it. Just don't go into it. And it will be the third fully buoyed lane because it goes second fully buoyed lane. 0, 1, 2. I'm sorry. It is the third buoyed lane. We're shaking the rust off here. I apologize. Just remember it starts with lane 0 going all the way to lane 6. That lane 2, so 0, 1, 2 is a dead lane. Don't enter it. Typically, there will be somebody marshaling up and down in that lane, so you'll be able to tell which one's the dead lane. And that is probably it for practice. Moving on to actual race day traffic. Once again, everybody's coming out of Regatta Point, so we can kind of skip the Donahue Rowing Center traffic patterns for people launching from there. By all means, interrupt me if I'm incorrect, but I'm almost positive we don't have anybody out of Donahue. Same thing as practice day. You launch from the Regatta Point docks, and you go north along the Worcester shore. Racing is between lanes 0 and 6, so you obviously will not be able to travel up in any lane. Make sure you are not in any lane as you go up the course. You're outside of that lane 0 buoy line, and we ask for, I believe we ask for single file as we go through that pinch point between the 1,500 meters and the 1,000 meter mark, just for everybody's safety. Single file, be safe. Better safe than sorry here. We ask you not to take any practice starts beyond the 500 meter mark. It's simply for congestion and the amount of crews that are heading up that way, not to mention you're going past the starting line. Same thing to watch out for, shallow areas, all of that. The thing that we're going to shift to is the traffic pattern changes up in that cove. Once it's race day, you will not be just making a U-turn and going straight down the course. There are 3 large buoys up there. I actually believe. There we go. So that's a zoomed in version of that cove up top. You will be entering, you can see from the little blue arrow, just to the left of lane 0. There's a set of bridge piers. You will be going north through those piers, and then you will making a clockwise direction around those 3 large white buoys that are in the center. Other things to make note of is there's a little red area in the top left corner, top right corner. Do not enter. It's mainly out of earshot from the officials, and there's sometimes fishermen back there. Just, we don't want to interrupt anything. Please stay out of the cove. You'll be out of earshot. You have plenty of space up there to do your practice pieces, starts, what you need. Just be aware of other crews. Same thing, clockwise direction. We ask you not to approach the starting line until you are called to do so. And then when you are called into load, you will be loading on the outside of so the main part of the course is between a large span of bridge piers. You'll see all the stake boats lined up. You will be loading just outside between the Shrewsbury shore and that first pier. You're going to follow low numbers to high numbers, and you're going to load down past here, and then you'll turn 90 degrees, you get in your lane, back down, or do your practices or whatnot. And with that, I will pass it off to Lissa Bain, who will go over everything else. Lissa?
Thank you. You got a lot of important stuff in there. Thank you. I'm Lissa Bain. I'm your chief referee. If you are looking for me this weekend, I will most likely be at Regatta Point. I'm pretty friendly, so if there's anything I can do to help you on Saturday or Sunday, please let me know. I also wanted to just reemphasize, like Thad was saying, is you're going up to the start area to warm up. You will paddle under the bridge. Not only is that's a particularly important place to keep things calm and quiet. So as you enter into the start area under the bridge, you will paddle. And what I want to do, my expectation is that everyone has read the packet. Everyone has gone over the maps. And I just want to kind of hit a couple of high points. And then I think after that, that'll show you kind of down the course. We will be doing a pulled start so long as weather conditions permit. Weather conditions are moving in the right direction. I'm doing everything I can to continue facilitating that. But because if you've been following the wind gusts as I have, you may have noticed that 2 days ago they were 37 miles per hour. Today they're 13. So I would highly recommend being familiar with a quick start, which we will use if necessary for conditions. The starter will announce that if we end up doing that. So be advised that that's something that could happen. You may empty your water bottles at the start, but this is a pack in, pack out course. Any trash, wrappers, anything that comes into your boat with you comes out of your boat with you at the finish line. We do anticipate having some 7 boat races. For those, if you're going on your way up to the start, giving plenty of space to the boat in lane 0. We'll have referees along the course ensuring that that happens, but being respectful of other races. And as races are going down the course and you're up to the start line, you're stopping and letting the race pass. Let's see, just a couple other reminders too. If there's something that happens in the start area that you object to, you need to object before leaving the start area. Breakage for this regatta does include over the head crabs and ejector crabs. If you experience either of those things, you want to check it down, raise your hand. Referee will come over and help you out, check in and see what's going on. Jump slides are not breakage. We had a bad start is not breakage. Actual breakage plus over the head or ejector crabs. We're hoping for good, clean racing. In the event that you do have something that happens during the race that you wish to object to at the end, raise your hand. Referee will come over. They will render a decision on the water. If you choose to accept that and all parties are good with that, then we'll continue on with the race day. You do have the right to protest if you do not agree with that, in which case the referee will alert us on land. We'll talk to you right away on land and go through that process with you, which is very clearly delineated in the regatta packet. All decisions will be made in final day of racing. And other couple things, we never intend to wake anyone when we're following the races. We're there for safety and fairness. However, as this is a championship regatta, our goal is to identify the fastest crews. And if you are a crew that is trailing, it is possible that you could experience some wake. We will do what we can to limit that, but I apologize in advance if it happens that you're trailing, a referee needs to get somewhere to identify those fastest crews and maintain control of the race. It's possible it could happen. We will do what we can to avoid it. And then the other piece to note is for coxswain weigh-ins. Coxswains, like it says in the packet, you'll weigh in socks in your racing uni or shorts and tank, whatever your school uses. But during the races, it's going to be chilly and wet potentially. Please dress to make smart decisions. I am a former coxswain myself. Cold, shivering coxswains tend to not be the most effective coxswains. So I'd say, dress to make good decisions, dress to be the best coxswain you can for your crew. If you are a coxswain who is carrying weight, you'll be responsible for carrying and keeping responsibility of your weight. One change to what's in the regatta packet is you may be asked to show your weight at the finish line, not at the start line. And yeah, I think that's, and in the event that we have a situation where we change lanes for fairness, we'll let you know as soon as we know. And yeah, I think that's all I have. So I don't want to show the video, give you kind of an idea of what it looks like going down the course. You'll notice that you start under the bridge at the top of the course and that the video ends before the bridge for Route 9. That's because nobody's going through the bridge at Route 9. So you don't need to see what's there. You're all going to stop, see the referee raise a nice white flag. And yeah, and then you'll go in and land. If we do shift lanes though, you will keep your same bow number. You'll race, so whatever bow number you launch with, you'll keep. You're not going to switch bow numbers on the water. We'll just shift lanes. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lissa. Yeah, to prove a point, what you're looking at here is from the aforementioned 3 white buoys that are up in the cove. We were actually sitting in between them as we start this. The stake boats are still in place. The only thing you won't see here, which will be there, is the starter's tower. But this is just a quick time lapse of going down the course. And the other point to make is if you look to your right-hand side, there's a smaller span between 2 piers. Those are the 2 piers you're going to be paddling through up into the cove. And then off to the left, you can see a set of piers on the other side of the race course. And then it's the shore. That's where you're going to be entering the race course on. And I will go ahead and play this. And just to point out some landmarks, you'll see the DRC off to the left there. That's the 500-meter mark. Everything does have an orange set of buoys at every 500 meters, but the pagoda over to the left is close to the 1,000. 1,000's right there. 1,500 is right here. And then there's that big blue bridge Lissa was talking about that we are not going through. This is the finish line buoys. We stop the video here. You will row straight through those buoys, but you will not go through the bridge. And then once your race is done and the race has been made official by the following referees, we ask you to clear the course as quickly as possible. You're all going to be turning off to your starboard side and heading towards the Worcester shore. And then depending on which dock you come off of, you can see all the little different squiggly lines. That's essentially where you're going to be landing. You're going to go however far north you have to along the Worcester shore, and then there will be people landing crews on these docks. So wait for direction. Don't just assume there's a spot and fly right in. And the other area too to point out is at the finish line, there is a finish tower. It's a wooden structure on an island. Don't get near it. It's another shallow part of the lake where you could lose a skeg. And then just to touch on this, in the event that there is an incident, a weather emergency or whatnot, Coxswains, just be aware if you're north of the 1,000-meter mark, we will send you to the Donahue Rowing Center. If you're south of the 1,000-meter mark, we're going to send you down to Regatta Point. There's nothing else you take out of this. It's lane 2 is a dead lane during practice and the weather emergency plan. All right. And that pretty much sums it up. Unless Linda or Alyssa, you have anything else to add?
Thad, before we do questions, I do have a couple of logistical issues to go over. One though, same as Lissa will be available at Regatta Point. I will be there on Saturday and on Sunday. So if anything comes up, you have questions, find either one of us to help sort things out. Logistics in terms of waivers and boat lineups. I can't encourage the coaches strongly enough to get your rosters submitted so that your athletes you can double check that they've done the waiver. It's not the U.S. rowing waiver. It's the IRA type waiver that's also available through Regatta Central. Coxswain weigh-ins, I've had a few questions about that. Weigh-in for Coxswains of all crews will take place beginning 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, April 29th at the garage adjacent to the main office at Regatta Point State Park, and will close at 6 p.m. Coxswain weigh-ins will be suspended during lightweight weigh-ins from 3 to 4 p.m. Any coxswains who are unable to weigh in during this time frame, say you're coming in later that day. I know there's some teams that are coming up Sunday morning. You must make alternate arrangements with me. Coaches can send me an email. However, it needs to happen. I need to know by Friday what's going on. There will not be a scale available for practice weigh-ins prior to 9:30 a.m. And coxswains will not have an opportunity to do a practice weigh-in. Coxswains will step on the scale. That will be their weight. Lightweight athletes will have an opportunity to test their weight. But again, that window is just 3 to 4 p.m. on Saturday. That's it for my logistics. And I'm really looking forward to the weekend. And the fact that Lissa is taking care of the weather takes one thing off my plate. So thank you. Questions, Thad?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, by all means, the chat is open. There is a raised hand feature if you have anything. Now's the time. And if we're all quiet, that means we did a perfect job. And like I said, let me reiterate, a recording of this will be available on the Quinsigamond Rowing Association YouTube channel. Look it up. It'll be easy to find. It'll be well marked, and you can just scroll through the video for any parts you may have missed or anything, any times or anything like that you want to rehear. With that, we have no raised hands and no chat messages. So thank you all for attending, and we're looking forward to hosting the regatta on Sunday and seeing you all on Sunday. Alrighty. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thanks. Good night.
Have a good one.